Okay, so the project I'm going to do next is I'm going to tile this bathroom floor. And what I did before I put the drywall up in here was I wired it for heated tile floor. So I put down this, it's a Curdy product. This is meant to take you put this down first with a type of thin set, and then you run your wires in it. See here? There's your wires for the heated floor. And this was all put down here. This plywood was put over it and taped to protect that while the rest of the bathroom was being finished. The drywalling and the rest of it, and the painting and stuff. So now that that's done, I'm going to take this OSB up today, and we're going to clean up everything, and then we're going to do a continuity and a resistance test on the wires here to make sure that there's no breaches in the electrical conductors in the floor, and then we're going to get ready to put the tile in here. Okay, so I'll get with that here in a few minutes. So I had it taped. There. And up. Okay. Now, well, let's see. Let's take this one up out of here. Like that. Okay. There we have it. There we have it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, out that comes. All right. That's pretty good, eh? Look at that. Just a little vacuuming and that'll be ready. Okay. Let's see this one here. Get that out. Yeah, look at that. It's looking real good. Okay. Okay. And we got one more piece here. Oh, look at that. That's looking good. There. And in just a second here, I'll give you a look at that wiring. Okay. All right, so here we are. So this is where your thermostat will go, up here. And so there's two steel conduits inside this wall here. One feeds the electrical up to this box, and another one brings down the heating cable, and it snakes through all the floor. And you also have two sensing cables. You have one here, and you have another one over here. And what you do is you only hook up one sensing cable at a time to the thermostat. And the reason you put two in right now is that sometimes these things, they stop working. So if all of a sudden someday your sensing cable stops working, you don't have your thermostat working to heat the floor. So as a precaution against that, what you do is you put two in when you're installing it. And you know, they're about, I don't know, they were $15 or $20 a piece, I think, with the cable. So I mean, it's for $15 more and a little bit of time, you put another sensing cable in, and if the first one messes up, you know, somewhere down the road, a few years down the road or whatever, you've already got the second one wired into the box. Okay, so The other thing with this electric floor, this heated floor, is you can't have the heating conductors within 2 of these bullets, closer, no closer than that. So it's sort of strategic. When you lay this stuff in, you got to try it. You figure out where it's going to go. Sometimes you got to back up and try it again. Another thing you don't do is you don't put it within 6 inches of the hole in the floor for the toilet, because you don't want to heat under the toilet. So you'll see right here, there's nothing where the toilet's going to sit, nothing beside it. And those wires are 6 inches from the hole here, okay? And then basically it just feeds through like that. The other thing is this is where the vanity is going to go. So you don't heat under the vanity, just heat the tiles in front of it. So it ends there. And yeah, I just got to make sure, I'm gonna take a vacuum. I'm gonna clean up anything that's around these. This is where see the door, there was a bit of stuff that got in here on it, but I think it's okay. Gonna fix these ones up, vacuum this out. And see right here, this is the end of it right here. This is the end of the cable lands right here. So yeah, it's a bit of, if you haven't done one of these before, it's you just got to do it like anything else, step by step. Take your time, and make sure your layout is careful. And like I say, like you see how there's some of these patterns here, you wonder why it's like that. But if you've got so much cable, you have to lay in here without having it any closer than 2 pucks together. Sometimes you got to do these funny little patterns to get it to work. So yeah, that's basically that's how this stuff is put down. It's you can see here there's a thin set under these mats. You can buy these mats. They come in about a 4 by 3 by 4, something like that, 3 by 4 feet. And basically what I did with this floor first was I leveled it. So I did a liquid, like a pour-on floor leveling compound. And it was pretty much, it was high over here and it was low here. So it filled here, ran out there, and it sort of feathered edged out into that hallway. So that made sure everything was nice and flat. And then there's a primer you can put on the plywood. Paint that on, it dries in about an hour. And then just use thin set. There's a SCHLUTER that sells their own brand. So I used their brand just to make sure that I was gonna have it adhere properly. So you just put this stuff down with thin set, and then you run your wires into it. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways that people do this. Some people at this point would skim this with mortar or thin set or mortar just to bury the wires. But there's no need of that, because when you put your tiles down, you're going to put mortar on here, and you're going to back butter the tiles, and it's going to go down, and these will be well embedded. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put an extra step into it. The tiling will be all the steps you need. So that just yeah. So I've done that in this little bathroom here, and I did the same thing in another bathroom in the house. I'll show you that another time. But yeah, I'm just gonna get the vacuum out and we'll get that cleaned up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a test here in a minute on the cables. Okay, so here's your 2 sensing wires. And now, okay. The other thing you do when you install this flooring is, instead of just trying to cram all this into a standard receptacle box, the code states that you should use a 4-inch by 4-inch steel box, and then you put a mud ring over it for the thermostat to fit in, like this one. So you got lots of room, up and down, left and right inside this box for all your cables, because you're going to have more cables than a standard box. Okay, so here are, okay, so this is a 240 volt system. So here's your 2 conductors right here for that circuit. And where's the ground? Here we've got the ground as well. So that is going to hook to the thermostat. So basically you've got your two conductors, you've got your ground, and you've got your heating cable right here. And you've got your two, as I explained earlier, you've got your two sensing cables. So these ones will be easy to figure out which is which. One's bigger than the other. So the larger one is here and the smaller one is here. So whichever one I decide to want to use first, I'll pick the one that's more in the center of the floor first. So I'll probably go with this one. And then someday down the road, if that fails, then we can just go to that one by changing which wire is hooked to the thermostat up here. Okay. So it looks like the small wire is going to be hooked up first. So basically this is the arrangement. You'll have your power into your thermostat, you'll have your ground, you'll have the heating cable, and you'll have the sensing wire. And here's your spare. That can be, I'll tag that as a spare and it'll tuck inside the box and you'll have that for later. Okay.